We had the loin and the boss and butt, right? The confusing part is the pig's upside down, right? So the loin that we just did would go, see where that little dimple is? It goes from here down. This would be the loin right here, considerably smaller, because this is a smaller pig. And then the boss and butt would be here. And then this would be the, what's this primal right here in front of the boss and butt? Right, from here to here, picnic ham, right? And then from the picnic ham down, Now, we talked in lecture today, what do we call it if this part is still on? Trotters, right? And what's the dish that we can make from that? Starts with a Z. Zampone, right? Not this guy that cleans the hockey court, but the zampone, not the zampone, right? And then we have the jowls. The jowls are the cheeks of the pig. Ears are great for dogs love ears. Like what you do is you dry them and smoke them. Your dogs become your best friend. Now, when we look at here, this is the belly. The belly goes from here up. What's on the inside of the belly? Ribs. Ribs. What kind?
Baby back.
Baby back ribs are in the back. Spare ribs are in the front. Okay. What do we call the spare ribs if we remove the sternum? St. Louis style. Okay, good. Inside, what are these guys right here?
Oh.
These muscles.
That's what I thought they were.
Yeah, tenderloin. Good. So that's the tenderloin right here. So we're going to split it in half. What's this primal back here?
That's what this is.
Fresh ham.
The fresh ham. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the sauce off. We're going to cut it in half. And then we're going to be able to look at the sides. Okay? We'll take our sauce off. I'm going to leave it on and then we can see the whole thing on the side. Cool. Okay, so we're going to take the sauce off. And just start right here.
Make sure your mouth's closed.
Ideally, you want to split it in half. Yeah. And right down to the head.
Don't throw a leg close to wine. Love the heads.
Cool. Okay. So now I'm just going to put the side up here and we'll be able to look at it a little bit more in depth.
Now, how would you clean your tool?
This is an enclosed house, so we can get this back. Take the blade off, wash it, put it back. And that's, if you're going to get one of those for processing, you want to make sure that it has an enclosed house. Yeah. So now we can see the whole side, right? And this would be perfect. And there's the brain.
So I'm going to cut this one like you did.
We're going to break that down. Right now we're just going to break down the primals, and then tomorrow we'll break it down further. Okay? So now you can see our whole loin was the size of this, right?
Yeah.
So what's this primal right here?
That's the fresh
The
ham.
fresh ham. Good. And then the primal from here up to between
That's the
the loin. Good. And then in front here, the pork foot. Good. And then below the pork foot, the picnic ham. This would be a hawk, and then
The trotter.
Trotter. Good. And what's this right here?
Same
Hawk. Good. Now, on the inside right here would be the
spare ribs.
spare ribs, and on the outside,
Baby.
belly.
That-
Right?
oh, yeah, yeah.
Baby back ribs are towards the back. What's this bone right here?
The
Chine bone. Good. What are the bones that come off the back of the spinal column? Feather bone, right? Where would the finger or loin bones be? Underneath the tenderloin. See here the tenderloin is? The finger or loin bones come off this way. So they hold that tenderloin. So the chine bone's here, and then the finger or loin bones come out like this. The tenderloin's on top of it. Okay?
So the chine bone encases the spinal cord?
Exactly. The spinal cord, this is the spinal cord. Right here. Okay? The tongue, you can see up here in the skull. Atlas and axis. this joint, you got one joint that goes up and down, one joint that goes side to side.
People eat it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, pickle tongues, delicious. Right? We're going to probably end up making head cheese from that. But you can see, here's the skull. So we're going to come right around the skull, separate it at the joint, and take that out. Okay, this is the lymph gland. This is the thymus gland. And that's the sweetbread. And in the United States, we kind of poop on, but throughout Europe, the two most popular thymus glands used sweetbreads are pig and veal. And pig sometimes fries more than veal, but that's what that is. As the animal ages, that gets older. It's primarily used for strengthening the immune system when the animals are young. And that's why you take the sweetbread.
It tastes better.
Older, you wouldn't eat it. Younger, it's going to be less developed. It's going to be more soft, more flat.
We also have thymus.
Yeah, correct.
Thyroid?
Thymus. Thymus. That's cardiac. Abdominal.
So the first thing we're going to do, take off the head. So we're going to hold on to the snout, come right around here. And I'm using right behind the ear is kind of my segue there. I'm coming right at that joint. Okay. Now you see those movies where they like take a sword and cut someone's head off?
Samurai sword.
Unless you hit it right in that joint, just right, it would be virtually impossible. So there's the head. Here's looking at you out. Okay? The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to separate the shoulder. And the shoulder is going to be what primal? The butt and the picnic hand. Okay? And this one's actually going to have a trotter on it. So we're going to come in right between ribs number 1 and 2. And I can't cut, right? Because I'm cutting through bone. So when you're using a bone saw, whether it's a reciprocating bone saw or a hand saw, you really just cut it. You're not cutting all the way through. Right? So we're going to hold on to this. And we're just going to line it up. The best way to do it is to score where you want to cut. So I want to cut right here between ribs number 1 and 2. And that's ideally where I want my saw to go. And then I'm going to put it down on there. Once you break through the bone, then you can come in with your knife and cut down. And if you try to cut through it with the saw, it's a mess. Stuff's so fun everywhere. Now, what is this bone right here? Yep. Scapula. Scapula. Good. So we just need to hit that real quick. So like we said this morning, we have a little bit of that scapula in the Boston butt and a little bit of scapula in the loin. Okay? Now, when we come down here, we're going to separate the fresh ham from the loin and the bacon or belly. And we're basically going to go right at the end of that hip. So we're going to come right across here.
So you're cutting out like all major joints.
Sorry?
You're cutting out like all the major joints.
Ideally. Yep.
Neck, arm.
I'm cutting it into the primals, yes. Okay, so now we're going to separate the fresh ham from the loin. And once you cut through that bone, you can cut through the rest. Okay? Just cut that down. So there's our fresh ham. And then to separate the belly or bacon, we're going to turn it to the side. And you basically come straight across. Right across here. This one's a little more tricky because you have the bones that move on you. So you're coming from the last, from here, straight across. And that's where you get your spare ribs. Everyone's seen spare ribs, right? They're usually big. So you can tell that's how small our pig is. So coming right across here. Okay? Those are going to go to our spare ribs. Line that up.
glue.
What?
Okay, and then we should be able just to cut the rest straight through.
You mean bullshit?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's our bacon or belly with our spare ribs on the inside. There's our pork loin. Here's our, what is this whole thing called?
Shoulder.
The shoulder, right? Here's the head. And the fresh ham. So now you can see that's the whole thing.
Awesome.
Pretty cool, huh? And then tomorrow we'll break it down from fruit, but now you can see the primal. Groovy? All right, cool.